Welcome back everyone to Missions 101, where today we are going to start our second set of 8 missions. And once again we are going to have 2 missions per episode, and 4 episodes are going to complete the set that are for this day. So let's then first collect our daily March on Gunabad missions for the cause. I'm not going to read all through that again because I did that 4 episodes ago. So let's go and do our first episode for Horde. This time we've got 4 missions from each of the 2 quest givers. So we'll begin with Assault on Ashmar-Zarakh. I have a new mission for you, Pineleaf. My scouts have just returned from Ashmar-Zarakh. Despite our best efforts, Gorgar's forces have succeeded in positioning more ballistae above the battlefield. Unless they're destroyed, our attacks on the gates of Gunabad are doomed to fail. You must go to Ashmar-Zarakh and destroy those ballistae. For the Joruka! For the Gabil Aka! Very well. We need to destroy some ballistae. What else do we need to do? In the armory of Ashmar-Zarakh, the orcs of Gunabad make ready their weapons of war. Many ballistae peer from the battlements, keeping watch on the gates of Gunabad below. Your mission is to destroy the ballistae of Ashmar-Zarakh, and the twist here is reinforcements. Monsters can summon reinforcements. So let's go! Ashmar-Zarakh is a favorite place for missions. There are few here. They sometimes change the gates, which ones are open and you go through, but I think there are 3, maybe 4 missions that go through here. And when it's in this configuration, I tend to avoid that group. You can fight them if you need to kill more orcs or something like that, or just feel like clearing out the entire dungeon. There are 3 orcs there that seem to be close enough together that if you attack one, you're going to wind up fighting all 3 of them. I like to go after the black arrows. That way, I will be able to fight both of them at the same time. Since the black arrow is going to stay in place, I just run to them, and the warrior is just going to run to catch up. Now, the first of the ballistae is right over there. Now, that's a... I wanted to catch the attention of that black arrow. It's not optimal from the point of view of I'm pretty sure it's going to fire that poison arrow at me. But I would rather get it now rather than having to wait for it to come back or having it surprise me when I'm in a less useful position, shall we say. Let's take care of the siege wreckers because we've got several of these around. Now, fortunately, the siege workers are greenies, so they're not much of a problem, but as you can see, they like to call in reinforcements. And oh, and I interrupt him after he summons his reinforcement. I was trying to keep him from doing that, but my fingers just weren't cooperating there. Let's go and take care of the... No, not that. The Orc Warrior reinforcement. Now, the Orc Warrior reinforcement is more powerful than the Goblin that summons it. Since this is... The Goblin is a greenie and this is a normal there. So let's get rid of the first ballista. Now, the ballistae are all in a line, so you don't have to worry about going to different rooms or anything like that. You just get to the first one, kill the orc there, then you just keep on going piece by piece until you have the entire lot done. As I said, you've got siege workers. I think there's at least 1 siege worker at each one. Alright, that time I interrupted properly and didn't get my fingers confused. Good. So that's 2. Oh, I keep forgetting about these 2. Which is a pretty nasty thing to be forgetting about, that you've got 2 orcs right behind you, that as soon as you back up, they're going to start attacking you without you knowing it. It's a good detail to keep in mind. I would think. But obviously, I do forget occasionally anyway. How do we Oh. That was just painful loss. Ah. Oh boy. Yeah, that was stupid. Wait, my kicks just don't always stop the goblin in there, so I don't know whether that was that they're nice and resistant to interrupts, or if it's only kick. Sometimes I forget which ones are. Actually, it's called the boot. I think another class has one that's called the kick or something like that. Maybe the captain or something. But all right, mine's called the boot. So I can't remember the exact percentages of being able to interrupt, but I think I've seen boots resisted more than others, whether that's confirmation bias or whether that's real, I'm not sure. Now let's just take care of this siege worker here and deal with them. Once I do this, the mission, I could knock down this ballista and the mission will be over. There you go. Now, if you need to kill more orcs, you could wipe out the place, clear it all out, then come back and select the final ballista and end it that way, so you can have enough time to clear out the orcs. You could clear out as many orcs as you want. And reasons why you might want to clear out the orcs are, of course, if you have a deed still to finish. And there is our trusty box right over there, but I'm at cap right now, so I'm not going to worry about that. Excellent work, Pineleaf. We need not fear the ballistae of Ashmar-zarak being used against us. Let's return and report our successful hoarding. And we're back in. You've done well, Pineleaf. Without those ballistae to defend the outer walls of Gundabad, we have brought ourselves time to press on the attack. All right, good. But of course, in each episode, we're going to have 2 missions, so let's see what our second mission is. Mission, the Riches of Sundergrot. Oh, fun. I have a new mission for you, Pineleaf. The abandoned mine, Sundergrot, lies to the south of here in the Floodfells. We have discovered references to some old records of some kind of hidden treasure inside. What kind of dwarf will I be if I ignored a treasure in waiting? Find it and bring it back here. It will help us to fund our war efforts. Well, assuming, of course, that the enemy hasn't already found it. The abandoned mines of Sundergrot still hold valuable ore and treasures, ripe for the taking. However, the goblin intruders stand in your way. Your mission is to find the dwarf treasure hidden somewhere in Sundergrot. And the twist here is gated, meaning I have to get by some sort of barrier in order to complete the mission. In this case, the barrier is going to be the lack of a key. Now I have 3 locations I go. I could either go up, I could go down straight, or I could go down this way. There is absolutely nothing for this mission that is down this way except for a couple of extra goblins you could kill. Now I have a habit of going down this way first, despite the fact that the optimal way to go is up this way. And the reason for that is because that's the direction of the chest, and the gated mechanism here is that you can't really find the treasure or grab the treasure until you find a pair of keys. And one of the keys is this way, and the other one is just beyond the treasure chest. So I figured the optimal thing to do is to come and head out this way first. Now I might be able to sneak by that goblin there. Now, it's possible, though, that I may wind up blundering into him on the way back. Usually I just kill that goblin on the way in. Now, that is a completely ignorable goblin right there. The group that's up there, there's absolutely no need to go against them, of course, unless you are deeding or something like that, or want extra drops, because Drops are another thing because I haven't mentioned it, but in missions you do get regular drops. In that case, a jade gemstone and cracked lance. So it's very useful for completing tasks and getting tasks items you need. And the task items that do drop here are level appropriate. I think there are one or two places where you might get something that's accidentally the 130 version instead of the level appropriate version, but usually you get something that's level appropriate. So if you're running a level 20 character, you are able to turn in tasks for all those level 20 tasks that you can get over at level 20 and complete them fairly easily, because after a day's worth of missions you might get enough in order to complete 5 missions. I know that from personal experience. And here we have the driver, and behind him that glowy thing in the background is the first of our 2 keys. I better switch over to my melee stance. And now let's grab the driver. And the reason why I go after the drivers first is because the driver gives a buff to the goblins. Let's see, that's right over here. This aura increases the morale of nearby goblins. How much does it increase it by? Well, unfortunately, I didn't think about checking that until I started doing this, but we'll run into a few more drivers later on, so I can get a better number now. But now he doesn't have a buff on him anymore because he is now, because the driver's now dead. And I do want to get rid of that impending stun though. There you go. Now, of course, you can do AoEs and stuff like that to at least wear down the goblin as you go along one there. But alright, I am done with this section, so now I can go back down to where I was before. Now, see if I can do this without blundering into that goblin there. I actually remembered that I bypassed him. And this is where I started, so I just swing around, do a U-turn. And remember that we've got sentries aboard all these unexplored tunnels. So that's something to keep in mind in there. Now on this first landing after you enter, right over here, actually, be careful here because we've got a pair of... Oh, come on. Oh, that was bad. Well, that's not good because... Yeah, somehow I managed to get all 3 of those, which is certainly not what I was doing. I keep on forgetting that you have that bomber, that sapper around there, and yeah, that sapper is doing a number on me. I prefer to take on sappers alone because they are very, very bad news to have. They're bad news when you're alone even. And it's... Oh. Okay, okay, actually, this is the thing that he has 8,000 morale is healed every single second. That's the reason why I prefer to kill the driver first. Is they do have that heal, and I think they also get extra morale on top of that, which is making things even worse. I was hoping to get close enough to him so they would stop throwing those javelins at me, because I usually find that they're worse when they are throwing javelins and they really do painful stuff to you. Alright, now that's done with that one and done with that one. So this is a real nasty area. Usually though, I'm able to avoid fighting all 3 at once. But I have to remember that you've got this guy here. For now, I think I was trying to pull that one and I pulled them all. Now this is the chest that we need to unlock. But there are actually 2 keys that you need to find, not just one. And now we've got these. So, good thing I was attacked by the sentry because I completely forgot about him. And I do want to have this way clear before I go against this sapper here. Now, my way of usually handling the sappers is to go into the ranged stance, ambush them, and then just toss away. Because when I can fight at range, then I don't mind being a distance away. Because they are a lot worse if you're fighting them right on top of them. And these sappers actually are on top of the... because that sapper is right next to the key, right over there. Now you don't have to do an ambush because usually if you catch them like that, they are going to drop it down and fight at range. Now I do like to take care of this third one also. I think you might be able to sneak by and not get into trouble from the goblin, but I'm pretty sure that if I attempted that, I would either A, prove that I'm wrong, or B, muff it up even if I were right. And if you muff it up, you're still going to get the goblin, of course. There you go. Now, actually, you have the driver there with those other goblins. So let's see what the other one is. Rallied, plus 14,000 maximum morale. So it's about a 10% morale boost that he's given. And, of course, 8,000 morale healed every 4 seconds. So that's a bit of a tough thing to do. But here's my key. Alright, let's just get the key this way. And now I can head back up and grab the chest. I think it's a lot easier to do it in this order, even though I think this might be the first time where I actually remembered to do it in this order. There you go. And the chest pops up right next to the quest chest. Good work, Pineleaf. Let's return and report your success to Horin. And we're back. The riches of Sundergrot. Horin's eyes gleam as he looks over the treasure. Ah, what a sight! It brings a tear to my eye. I will make sure that this wealth is added to our war coffers and put to good use. Thank you, Pineleaf. There you go. And those are our 2 missions for today. The assault on Ashmar-Zarakh and the riches of Sundergrot. Thus, we conclude today's pair of missions, the first 2 in our second set, and we'll return next time for another 2 missions in Missions 101.